What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are heading back to the beginning of the 1 Year War. Let's turn the dial back as we head to UC-0079 and meet Yuu Kajima, who becomes a test pilot after a tragedy with his crew. This is the 2015 remake of the manga, and I never actually read the original, nor have I played the Sega Saturn game, but I definitely plan on changing that soon. Let's head back to the 1 Year War and get into this. January 16th, UC-0079. The Battle of Loom is a failure for the Principality of Zeon. After the failed Operation British left Jaburo completely unharmed, they tried and failed again with Side 5. But this is more of a failure for EFF simply because Zeon introduced mobile suits into the battlefield and completely blindsided them. That was probably the first time that many EFF soldiers have ever seen a mobile suit. One of these people is Yuu Kajima. Kajima watches from a Columbus-class ship as Zaku's take out Magellans with ease. He launches in the FFS-3 Saberfish. The FFS-3 Saberfish is a high-speed fighter created by the Hervik Company, which designed the first FFX-7 core fighter. There's an atmospheric version of this fighter as well. It has 4 boosters on its wings, unlike the core fighter. The booster packs are also equipped with missile launchers, so the firepower is also enhanced. If needed, the Saberfish can be loaded with a large anti-ship missile. Also, in the Battle of Loom, we saw Ryu Jose retconned into the battle, as he was piloting a recon version of the Saberfish. A Zaku comes and attacks him. He is unable to shake the Zaku and is taken aback by how maneuverable mobile suits are. The Zaku takes out its Heat Hawk and slices the Saberfish in half. Actually, come to think of it, this is exactly Ryu's fate in Gundam Origin. Coincidence? Kajima drifts out into space and passes out. His lieutenant comes in. Kajima asks what happened to his team. They tell Kajima that he is the only survivor of his team. His ship was also destroyed in the process. He says to Kajima that mobile suits are the future and tells him that General Revel enacted Operation V, which EFF is currently deep in the process of gathering data on. For more info on Operation V, check out our Operation V videos. After seeing a young Amado Ray pilot the RX-78 Gundam, they are now starting to believe in the concept of new types. They are also taking the data to create a mass-produced mobile suit. Of course, this becomes the RGM-79 GIM. They want to create a team of test pilots to test out new mobile suits for EFF. This team will be known as the Guinea Pig team. Kajima desperately wants to be a part of this team. We then cut to early November of UC-0079. EFF is in an all-out fight for Earth as they push Zeon back out into space. Since then, the Guinea Pig team has been in full effect. Their team is operated and controlled by Jaburo. It consists of Yuu Kajima, Phillips Hughes, and Simona Fulis. The Guinea Pig team heads out in Medias. This is the same ship that Lieutenant Matilda used during the 1 Year War. They begin launching. Their GIMs have an airborne use jetpack loadout. They are able to use the packs to land safely outside of their target. The Minovsky particle density is quite high, so they can assume no one will be firing anti-aircraft weapons. The base sends out a Zaku. Their 120mm machine guns have no effect on the GIM shield. They were able to take out the Zaku swiftly. There aren't too many Zeon forces, as most have already fled back into space after Operation Odessa. But 2 more Zakus come out of nowhere and attack the Guinea Pigs. It attacks and hides, so Philip uses that jetpack loadout to get the high ground. He takes out his beam saber, but runs out of power, which is a good thing because if he didn't, he would most likely be dead by an attack. Airborne shots come down and the Guinea Pigs scatter. It is a turret on the other side of the base. Kajima whips out the 100mm machine gun and points it at the turret. The turret gunners come down. They run away, and Kajima blows up the turret. The team keeps heading north to take out any remaining forces. Suddenly, something swift is heading towards their location. It is a blue GIM, but it happens to be attacking both sides. This is Blue Destiny. The RX-79BD-1, Blue Destiny Unit 1, is a modified RX-79G Gundam ground type. It has improved generator output and enhanced mobility. The main star of Blue Destiny is the exam system. This was designed to bring out the full potential of the mobile suit, but it is unstable and causes the mobile suit to go berserk. However, engineers have put limiters on the exam system to not cause it to go berserk. It is equipped with head Vulcans, chest Vulcans, a wired control system, a 100mm machine gun, a beam saber, a beam rifle, and a shield. It also will get a magnetic coating to improve response speed. It stands under the moonlight holding the head of a gym. After the mission in Canada, we meet Clust Moses and Alf Camera. Clust was a Xeon researcher for the Flanagan Institute. He talks about how he is no longer a part of Xeon and that his only goal is to finish the exam system. They're concerned that Blue Destiny will go berserk, so they put limiters on the system. They then cut to the mobile suit, instantly going berserk, and everyone panicking. They lose communication with the pilot. The unit takes off. Alf's only concern is losing another test pilot. Clust simply says they will find another. We cut back to the battle where the guinea pigs are staring at the blue gym. It begins attacking the team. Because this is an EFF gym, they had to deactivate friendly fire prevention systems. You don't really think about it, but there is definitely some AI systems in place to prevent friendly fire, so it is interesting to see this mid-battle strategy. This is where the manga, I think, shines. It gives you more of an opportunity to flesh out battle tactics in between the splash pages of action shots. It comes in fast and destroys Kajima's machine gun. The guinea pigs go to Delta formation and they all attack the unit. After the dust settles, Blue Destiny has no scratches on it. Everyone is taken aback, a little stressed, and starting to get tired. Sumona uses the head Vulcans on Blue Destiny, but it rushes off. They can't get a hit on it. Kajima whips out the beam saber and rushes to Blue Destiny. It comes in close, but then shoots down a satellite on top of a building. Kajima thinks that this unit is only responding to Mobile Suit's reaction, and not random objects. Blue Destiny, however, still gets out of the rubble. Everyone is confused how this unit simply won't go down. It begins escaping. A Medea begins communication with the team. They tell them to retreat. The mission is complete. Somewhere else, Nimbus Sturzen is on top of an Ifrit custom. The MS-08TX exam Ifrit custom is a custom version of the Ifrit. We haven't really talked about the original Ifrit, but to sum it up, it lies somewhere in between a Dom and a Goof. Like Blue Destiny, this unit also is equipped with the exam system. It appears that the Ifrit was the only Xeon unit able to withstand the exam system. The mobile suit also has improved mobility due to reduction in weight and more powerful thrusters, as well as high offensive power, making it more powerful than the original Ifrit. Additionally, its close combat capabilities surpasses that of a Goof. Clust, who is the creator of the exam system, didn't wipe his codebase, so Xeon took the code and shoved it into an Ifrit. It seems it makes the unit prone to overheating easily. Clust never believed this was a successful experiment. It is equipped with a heat sword, twin grenade launcher, and 6-tube missile pod. Nimbus proclaims that he will destroy Blue Destiny. A group of EFF mobile suits are scouting the area when the Nimbus and the Ifrit custom comes in and wreaks havoc. He tells them that these people don't understand chivalry. Two Doms are assisting Nimbus. The pilots are Tristan Trader and Sergei Rao. Nimbus puts a gem head on his sword and says that he will do the same to the blue mobile suit. Blue Destiny received more damage than they expected. Alf plans on putting magnet coating on the unit. Clust is getting impatient and tells Alf that they simply don't have time. Back at EFF, they are making a second unit, but this unit also goes berserk. They are planning on using the original core on this unit. Clust hates the test pilots that he has been given and notes that Xeon had better test pilots. He notes that the current pilot is useless to them. Alf thinks that he may have a lead on a new test pilot. He shows Clust a file on the Guinea Pig team. They also want to get some new units from Augusta Labs. Meanwhile, the Guinea Pig team is testing out the new units, the Gym Dominants. The RGM-79DO Gym Dominants are created by Augusta Facilities and is a late-game gym from the gym series of the 1 Year War. This unit's operating data will go on to help design the GM Sniper 2. This unit more closely resembles a GM Sniper than anything else. It has a beam saber, box beam saber, 100mm machine gun, twin beam cannon, 3 shields, and a gun turret. Later, Kajima has a dream. He sees Blue Destiny and a woman with wings. She calls herself Marion. Kajima recognizes that this is the source of the power in Blue Destiny. He wants this power. He sees Marion cry, and then instantly wakes up. At a Xeon outpost, Nimbus is informed of the blue mobile suit's destruction, but there isn't any evidence of a destroyed unit. Nimbus is sure that it isn't destroyed and that it also has an exam system. He needs his custom Ifrit fixed, but Xeon barely has any men, let alone parts. It is starting to sink into the heads of this group that the damage that the Battle of Odessa has done to Xeon forces is quite severe. Their plan is to either capture any EFF exam system mobile suits or destroy them. Nimbus's men wonder why Clust likes blue, as both the Ifrit Custom and Blue Destiny are both blue mobile suits. He says it is because a certain new type liked blue. Back with the Guinea Pigs, they are getting attacked during their training mission. A gallop has been stopped by a different team, but they want to completely take it out. Kajima notices a Zaku 1 sniper. The MS-05L Zaku 1 sniper type is a retrofitted Zaku 1. Its head unit was fitted with the same type of composite mono-eye as the MS-06 Zaku reconnaissance type, granting it the necessary sensor range for long-range sniping. It also has a pair of head Vulcans for defenses. Along with the beam sniper rifle, it does have head Vulcans, along with a sub-generator and a foldable knee pad for stability. Philip shows off while Kajima heads towards the unit. A Zaku 2 comes from behind and tries to use its bazooka, but the Kajima's new gem is superior in speed. It is able to outmaneuver the unit and slice it in half. He continues chasing the Zaku sniper and takes it out. Meanwhile, it was Nimbus and the Gallop. It appears that the Guinea Pig team stopped them from getting supplies. Back at EFF, yes, they just cut away from the battle. I have no idea how it ends. Kajima is informed that the blue unit was created by a Xeon scientist who defected. This makes Kajima think of Marion from his dreams. Kajima wonders what that thing inside Blue Destiny is. Meanwhile, Alf decides to make Kajima the next test pilot of Blue Destiny. New types are the next step of human evolution as predicted by Xeon Zoom Daikun. Most people originally did not believe in this and was greeted with skepticism. However, Warriors on the Battlefield has helped prove that new types do in fact exist. Kycelia helped push the Flanagan Institute in June of UC0079 on Side 6. The Institute found that not only do new types have expanded cognitive abilities and spatial awareness, they also emit psychowaves. It was only a matter of time before scientists were able to engineer a way to interface with the psychowaves, the Psychomu system. We will see that this push for Psychomu system mobile suits will be known as the Bishop Plan. We flash back to Dr. Clust meeting Marion Welsh for the first time. She says that she is too weak to fight this war, but the doctor lets her know that they do research in the hopes to end the war. Marion goes out and tests the Psychomu Early Test Type Zaku. The YMS-06Z Psychomu Early Test Type Zaku is the first step towards the Bishop Plan. This, of course, has a Psychomu system and isn't exactly designed for combat. It is equipped with 2 wired bits. These prototype bits were huge and almost the size of a Zaku arm. The wire allows for data collection, and the bits shoot a projectile, not a beam. Marion is able to take out all the targets with ease during a mock test. One scientist notes that she would be quite effective in battle, but Clust says she is afraid of real combat. He is frustrated by that comment. Nimbus is also a part of Clust's crew and is watching Marion. Back at the North American EFF New Bern base, combat operator Maureen is giving a briefing about catching Xeon fleets fleeing to space. But Philip isn't paying attention. He actually was paying attention, but he is now complaining about not being able to swim, as this is a water mission. She informs Yuu that the Dominants will be equipped with some new underwater features. Yuu is daydreaming about new types and Marion, who showed up in his dreams. Phillips comes up behind him and tells them that they will be able to handle it, even though he was just complaining seconds ago. Suddenly, they get a base-wide alert. Xeon forces are approaching. The base's fisheyes have captured data that forces will attack soon. The RB-79N fisheye is originally a prototype underwater ball that was originally seen in the Igloo manga. These were created to take on the rise of Xeon U-boats and Zaku marine types. It is now equipped with a barrel-long sphere, which is sort of a spear gun, 2 claws, and a searchlight. It was mainly used in the summer of UC0079, and near the end of the war was replaced by the RAG-79 Aqua GM. They were able to spot 2 Gogs and 1 Zagok approaching. The 11th Autonomous Corps is ordered to intercept. They haven't really had a chance to test their new Dominant's underwater equipment. His men are piloting the Aqua GM. The RGM-79DO AQ GM Dominance underwater equipment added 2 weapons to the Dominance. The underwater beam rifle is also used with the Gundam Marine type and minimizes beam deterioration in the water. It also has anchors mounted on each hand and is used to grapple with enemy forces. The RAG-79 Aqua GM was created to combat Xeon's amphibious mobile suits during the 1-year war. The data from the prototype GM Slope was used to create this unit. The Aqua GM has a hydrojet unit equipped in its backpack, shoulders, and legs for underwater propulsion, with nozzles for the hydrojet units also present on the soles of the feet. It has better output than the Zagok, but not the Gog. This unit was rushed into production and thus didn't live up to its name, but its data was used to create the Gundam Marine type. It is equipped with a missile launcher, a torpedo pod, a hand anchor, a beam pick, and a harpoon gun. Underwater, the Guinea Pig team finds fish eyes being wrecked by the Zeon forces. Yuu notes that there isn't cooling issues when underwater because being underwater means the rifle is water cooled. The team goes in, but they try not to stay out too far. Meanwhile, Tristan and Serge are watching EFF. They begin making their move. Nimbus's plan for the base is to disperse their forces and spread them out thin. They plan on recapturing the cargo that EFF stole from them. Tristan and Serge were provided by Caecilia, the new Doms. This is after the Black Tri-Stars failed to destroy the White Devil during the Battle of Edessa. The Doms come in with the quickness. The 501st, which consists of Zaku's and aquatic mobile suits, thanks the Nimbus team for helping them out. The Doms go in and take out the GMs and gun tank. Meanwhile, the Guinea Pigs take out the mobile suits, but there is still one lurking around. They suddenly get communication from HQ regarding the second attack on the base. They realize they were a distraction. As Yuu receive the communication, the Zagak comes in and tries to take out the Dominance. They both emerge from the water and the Dominance uses its anchor to take out the Zagak. One of the 501st members tells the Nimbus team that they can use this base to flee back into space, but Yuu and the Guinea Pig team come in and take out the 501st Zaku. Yuu notices that even though they are fast, they are stilted, and he can attack if he waits for the right moment. Serge comes in with his heat saber. Yuu dodges, but the Dom is fast and jumps up and quickly uses a Sturmfaust. It hits Yuu in his back. When this happens, he sees Marion for a moment. While this is all going down, Dr. Klust is watching Blue Destiny activate on its own. The exam system has been activated. He says that the unit seems to be shaking with rage. Alf comes in to see what is happening. The exam system goes crazy. Dr. Klust stares at Blue Destiny and begins talking to it. It seems as though it tells him of the whereabouts of the Ifrit Custom. Back with Nimbus, the Ifrit Custom's exam system is also activated. Nimbus will show his Ifrit the true power of the exam system. We see images of Marion wrapped in bandages in control of the Nimbus. It is clear by the imagery that Marion and the exam system are very much connected. I can't tell if he's manifesting the exam system into his swords or he is just using his swords for a metaphor. What do you think? Back at the battle, Yu's arm is destroyed. The Dom goes in and fires his bazooka. When Marion tries to reach out to Yu, he is able to dodge the bazooka beam. Serge and Tristan are wowed by Yu's incredibly fast moves. The two take off towards the base to steal the Gallop cargo. The rest of the Nimbus team comes in. A woman named Jill is infiltrating the base as an EFF mechanic. They steal a cargo supply from the base. As they take off, a few fly arrows head towards the supply ship. The fly arrow is a double-seated jet fighter with canard wings. This jet was obsolete by the time of the 1 Year War, but was still occasionally used. This unit only has Vulcans. Nimbus in his Ifrit Custom jumps up high and attacks the fly arrows with his heat swords. Back at the base, Yu is in the medbay. He is informed of the cargo that was just stolen. Philip happens to be in love with one of the mechanics. It just so happens to be the spy, unbeknownst to him. Philip also tells Yu a rumor that they will be assigned the blue unit and it will be assigned to Yu, but Marine is the head of the team and hasn't heard of such a rumor. The dominance is going to need to be fixed, but the only mechanic around happens to be Jill, the mole. Yu wonders if Marion is guiding him. I have been referring to this as a Medea, but technically it is the C-88 Medea. The C-88 Medium Transport Medea is an improved variant of the Medea. This is a slightly smaller unit where the container and the fuselage were merged. These have great maneuverability compared to the original. The rotors for vertical takeoff and landing have been replaced with jet engines. In addition, each wing was fitted with an additional jet engine for a total of 8. These also can be modified as a bomber, which we have seen with the Slave Wraith team in our coverage of Missing Link. In the Medea, Alf is watching over Blue Destiny. One person tells him to go get some rest. On the ground, Tristan and Serge and their Doms are using a sniper beam rifle and lugging around the power generator as they can't attach the backpack to their backs. Tristan shoots out one of the engines of the Medea and it begins going down. The two go and link up with Nimbus. You're not gonna check out if you shut down your target? Okay. Back at the North American base, the team gets intel that the Medea was under attack and then suddenly lost contact with the ship. They head out to intercept. Yu's team is the first team of the 11th Corps, but there is also a second team which teases the first team before they launch. Phillips got a gift from Jill to bring with him on the mission. Blue Destiny isn't hurt in the crash, but Zaku's are on their way to the location. 2 of these units are Zaku cannons, but one thing to note is that they have different antennas. One has a custom twin antenna head that is known as the rabbit type head. The other 2 units are Zaku desert types. The MS-06D Zaku desert type was a modified Zaku variant that was created by Zeon when they were the ones occupying the North American base. This unit was originally going to have twin antennas as well, but eventually changed before mass production. The biggest change was the replacement of the Zaku 2's standard thruster jetpack with a heat dissipating radiator backpack. Out of the 114 units, 71 had single antennas, 43 had 2 antennas. This was eventually phased out and replaced with the Dom Troppen. Suddenly, a team of GMs come in to help. It is the second team. Yu's team is still making their way to help. Nimbus's team gets word that another team has finally made contact with the Medea. Nimbus tells everyone to stand down as they plan on killing anything in their way, including allies. A Zaku team fighting the second team gets the message from the Nimbus about standing down, but they do not listen. That is when Nimbus and the Ifrit comes in and kills one of his own teammates. Surge in the Dom has backpacks, which holds turrets, and equips it with what looks like 2 beam sabers, which was confusing because I thought it was a Dom cannon for a second. He unleashes the turrets and takes out the remaining Zakus. The Ifrit makes his way towards the Medea when Yu and the first team comes in and helps. Alf watches Yu intently. He wants to see if he is worthy of piloting Blue Destiny. Yu recognizes that the power emanating from the Ifrit custom is the same as Blue Destiny. The 2 engage in battle. Nimbus notes that it isn't like the other pilots, and this one is actually worthy. As they battle, Marion is watching over them. Zeon approaches the Medea. They are trying to get their hands on the EFF exam unit. The Ifrit rushes. They shoot at the unit, but it doesn't even slow down at the assault. He is too fast for anyone to get a lock on. Simona pulls back and forgets about the turrets behind him. Philip and Simona go to stop the Doms. Yu fights Nimbus one-on-one. As their battle intensifies, the Blue Destiny exam system begins activating. Marion is watching the 2 fight. Dr. Alf goes to pilot Blue Destiny. Someone has to do something. But as he heads towards the unit, it begins moving on its own. It breaks out of the Medea and begins firing its Vulcans, taking out the Ifrit's missile pod. As they watch the mobile suit activate, they wonder if it is a spy, not knowing that no one is piloting the unit. The Ifrit is taking on a lot of stress in the joints. It isn't used to fighting on Earth and is more of a space fighter. Yu looks at Blue and notices that it is crying again. He could see Marion. He says that Blue is not the enemy, and Zeon comes in for a second attack. Back at the base, Jill, a Zeon spy, is prepping for a mission. She will be working with Maureen during the mission. They are heading out to help the Medea. While striking up a conversation with Jill, Maureen wonders why she is dating an idiot like Philip. It's because she is a spy, Maureen. The aura of the Ifrit's exam system is overwhelming Marion. As the 2 go hand in hand again, Zeon gets an encrypted message to fall back. Philip calls them cowards for retreating after causing so much damage. They go to check on the second team that was helping out. Maureen contacts the team and lets them know she is on her way. Alf thanks Blue for protecting Blue. Yu finally knows the name of the mysterious unit. Maureen and Medea makes it to their location. They bring along a gun tank that has been retrofitted as a mobile worker. It just looks like a gun tank with a crane added, but if there's more data on this unit that I am missing, let me know in the comments. They use it to lift up Blue Destiny and all the downed parts from the battle. Alf is micromanaging all the mechanics. Jill talks to him and tries to get info on the mobile suit. She asks how the suit was able to operate on its own. Alf says that it was due to the exam system, which was initially developed by Zeon, but he plans on perfecting it. He lets slip out information that they plan on making more units and even creating a ground variant. They will be very busy. April 1st, UC0079. Operation V is officially drafted to extend the RX line as EFF lagged behind in mobile suit development. With the help of Amado Ray's battle data, EFF was able to mass produce the RGM-79. While these mass-produced units were being made, Augusta Labs built mobile suits that focused less on efficiency and more on performance. This led to units such as Alex Gundam, made specifically to use with new types. Blue Destiny was also another one of these units. In the present, Yu is out in the field when suddenly the RX-78-2 attacks him. The speed of the unit, the power of the BOA XBR beam rifle, the lightning-fast intuition. The Gundam is overwhelming Yu, piloting Blue. The Gundam rushes in and slices Blue in half. He was running a simulator. He lasted longer than Simona, who never even saw the Gundam coming. They talk about how the data from Amado is pivotal to creating the next generation of units, especially during the 1-year war, where there is a fast turnaround when it comes to mobile suit production. They hear that BD Unit 2 and BD Unit 3 will be delivered soon. Alf tells the team to stop messing around with the Gundam sim and start focusing on goof and dom runs. He tells them that tomorrow they will do live training exercises. That night, Philip and Jill are having a little pillow talk. Jill pries more to get information on the Blue Destiny units, but Phil passes out from a long day of training. Jill reveals that she stole the RX-78 training data from him. The next day, the Guinea Pig team heads out. Yuu informs the team they will be using virtual beam weapons, which will deactivate their suits based on the simulated damage incurred. Maureen reminds the team to watch out for building and structural damage as well. They begin their training. The Zeon fleet is fixing their mobile suits. Nimbus wonders how Earthnoids live with random rain. His men tell him that the person on the inside has sabotaged Blue and things will go wrong during their training. There are some allies nearby that happen to have some goose. Nimbus wants to negotiate with them for their supplies. Tristan asks Serge why he trusts in the spy so much. Serge tells him that it is because she was Makuve's most trusted spy, and since he left Earth, is really the only dependable spy they have. Remember, this is post-Battle of Odessa. Tristan doesn't like Nimbus's fate approach to making decisions. As Yuu tears through the second unit team, a Zeon team comes in. One of the units is the Rhinoceros. The Rhinoceros is a prototype ground mobile armor that was rushed to construction and made with spare parts. It uses a Zaku 2 torso and uses a thermonuclear hover unit like the Gallop. Despite what it looks like, it is lightly armored and has issues with overheating. It is equipped with an armed machine gun, an 18-tube missile launcher, and a 3-barrel heavy machine gun. There are 2 different variants. The Type A has a 200mm cannon, and the Type B uses a burst liner cannon, which is a megaparticle cannon that Zeon stole from EFF. The Rhinoceros we see here is a Type A. Alf wants to use this opportunity for Yuu to use Blue in the wild. During Zeon's landing operation, they found out just how big Earth was and were spread too thin. While on Earth, they created ad hoc mobile weapons to work for specific needs. The Rhino is amongst one of these machines. On top of the Rhino is a battle heli. The battle heli achieved good results in ground attacks and close air support for infantry and mobile vehicles, but its firepower just wasn't good enough for mobile suit combat. It is equipped with Vulcans and a wired 4-tube missile launcher controlled by a gunner. The Rhino starts firing at the team. Simona is in the new GM cannon. The RGC-80 GM cannon was originally supposed to be a mass-produced version of the gun cannon, but it was easier and more efficient to adapt it to the RGM line. It essentially turned the unit into a gun cannon light, with 60% of its parts being shared with the GM. It is equipped with a 240mm cannon, a 60mm Vulcan gun, a beam spray gun, the 90mm bulb-up machine gun, and all of the other weapons that the GM can equip, which is a lot. Simona tries to calculate the trajectory and shoots down the cannon blast coming their way. The second unit team is getting attacked. It destroys a building. Philip goes in to help them. Alf tells Yuu if he gets in close, the Rhino won't be able to attack him, but they have to move fast before the Magella attack tank goes into flight mode. He rushes in and begins his attack, but sure enough, Magella attack tanks launch. Simona uses his cannon on the air units. The combat heli takes off from the Rhino. Yuu jumps on top of the Rhino and instantly takes out the attack heli. He hears the name Frank in his head, and it seems to be as though Marion is sad. Maureen congratulates them but says they lost a point on the training exercise for buildings getting damaged. Alf thinks that Yuu will be able to draw out the power of Blue simply because he wasn't consumed. Meanwhile, inside of Blue, Yuu was taken aback as he just felt like something was trying to consume him. A squad of Zakus led by a goof is being sniped at from afar. The team spreads out thin. That is when Nimbus and his men comes tearing through everyone except the goof. Nimbus tells him to get out of his mobile suit. The pilot yells at Nimbus, claiming that if he doesn't get what he wants, he just takes it. Tristan yells at him, but Nimbus just answers him with his sword. Waitwan, or Waitwand, I'm not sure, is a defensive base that surrounds another base containing missiles. It is quite impregnable. Alf tells them that 3 teams will attack from 3 separate directions. Yuu's team will be tasked with escorting choppers once they penetrate through the walls. After the mission briefing, Jill comes in and asks Alf about Clust. He doesn't want to give out too much information about the exam system, but he does mention to her that a new GM will be deployed soon. Jill notes that Nimbus's team has received supplies, and both teams are rearing to go. She flicks a carafe in the briefing room in a similar manner to how Makuve flicks his penis-shaped antique. Yuu's team goes in to attack the base. Simona and Philip want to take the lead on this one, but Yuu goes in and starts tearing through the Zakus on the other side of the wall. Zeon sees this mobile suit as some kind of monster. Nimbus is talking to Tristan about destroying the Zeon mobile suits. They needed parts, but Tristan says that sometimes blood must be spilled. Nimbus looks up to the Ifrit Custom and begins thinking of Marion from the past. He starts feeling guilt suddenly. His team watches him awkwardly as he zones out. Surge snaps him out of it. They are informed that EFF is attacking Waitwand. They decide to go intervene. Yuu and the gang are tearing through Zaku's with ease, and note that their mobile suits aren't well maintained. EFF decides to send out the choppers, even though they haven't cleared the wall yet. It seems that Team 2 got to the center first and are charging to attack formation. Missiles are being prepped. They have to protect the choppers and make sure they make it to the center. Alf says that he will activate the exam system if necessary. The team goes in to escort the choppers. They don't have time to wait around for the choppers, and they have to push in. But Zeon begins attacking. Philip Hughes notes that Zeon is willing to destroy their own base. Waitwand Commander Rupert Brazi is informed that EFF is entering from Area B. He orders a base-wide retreat. Brazi flashes back to him, looking over the former commander. He is leaving it in Brazi's hands to lead the people. He is in a beaten-up Gelgoog and will uphold the strength of his former commander. Yuu and Philip notice action happening. He is reminded that if he is backed into a corner, he can unleash Blue's full potential. He senses Marion's presence. Maureen sends out an urgent message telling everyone she is picking up a huge heat signature at the forward enemy base. Alf told Yuu that he will leave the judgment of activating Blue to him. He decides to use it. Simona focuses on anti-air defenses for the choppers, while Philip follows Yuu. He gives Simona some ammo before feeling a sensation. It is the exam system. He activates it and heads out. Plus Moses can sense that Blue has been activated. Yuu is just rushing as fast as he can to the city center so he could stop the nukes from going off. Marion grabs his hand. Simona says that Yuu's speed is unreal. Philip tells him to shut up and watch the choppers. Zeon converges on Yuu and Simona's location. Simona shoots down a Magella top and they keep pushing forward. They see tracks flank right, but Yuu thinks it's a trap. He fires some Vulcans and sets off some landmines. He begins hopping and stumbles onto more Zeon forces. The gang regroups as Yuu handles business. Simona destroys some aquatic mobile suits. They were intending to make their escape by sea. Even with this destruction, they are outmatched, and Philip recommends throwing up the white flag and getting used to that POW life. Meanwhile, Yuu is just tearing through Zeon forces. He wants to tap more into the power of the exam system. Marion is trying to warn him of something. As he gets closer to the city center, something doesn't seem right. He thinks that they may have set nukes off on a timer and fled. An explosion goes off near Yuu. There are Zeon forces hiding nearby. Everyone has retreated from the base except for Brazi, who goes out in his Gelgoog. He and Yuu engage in battle. Brazi wasn't expecting them to make it to the city center so quickly. He dual wields beam Naginatas and goes in close. But as he gets into stabbing range, the Gelgoog tricks him and shoots at Yuu. Blue is barely able to dodge the attack. Yuu realizes that it was Marion who was able to make that dodge. Yuu takes his shield and impales it right through the torso, killing Brazi. He gets a message from the choppers and the ground forces. It seems it was a bluff and the nukes weren't located here. Their mission is complete. Yuu is mad as there are still nukes out there in the wrong hands, as Australia is fresh on his mind. They are suddenly hit by a mobile suit on top of a Dobday class ship. This triggers Yuu. Darkness consumes him. He comes to with the Dobday and mobile suit completely destroyed with no memory of what he just did. On this mission, they were able to take out 22 mobile suits, 18 tanks, and 1 Dobday class ship. The Antarctic Treaty prevented the use of nukes for the remainder of the war, but on Earth, nukes are everywhere and easily accessible. After Makuve's attempt to fire off nukes during the Battle of Odessa, many Zeon remnants began ignoring the Antarctic Treaty and attempted to set off nuclear weapons. Even the Federation began rethinking their nuclear strategy. With the creation of the Gundam Development Project and GPO-2, it seems a new nuclear arms race was on the rise. North American Federation Forces, New Bern Base. California Base is under EFF control for the most part by this point. Philip wonders if the top brass fed them lousy intel. Alf asks Yuu what activating the exam system was like. He said it felt like he was on a leash, which is due to the limiters that were built into the system. He tells them that the exam system mastermind, Dr. Klust, will be paying them a visit. Marine tells Yuu that last mission earned him the promotion from ensign to lieutenant junior grade. Philip and Simona are envious. Nimbus is informed that Waitwand is fallen. Tristan wonders the status of the exam system. Surge tells him that it is still operational and that Klust is on the move to the Federation base. Tristan thinks this is their chance to take both out with one attack. They want the exam system, but they make it sound like they want to have sex with it. Calm down, it's a mobile suit. They keep an eye on Klust. Maybe they will ambush him after his work at California base. Klust wants Surge to see if anyone who went up against the exam system survived. The past. Marion watches a mock battle as Klust approaches her. Nimbus is in the Ifrit Custom Space. The MS-0TX Exam B Ifrit Custom Space is a test variant of the Ifrit Custom used to develop develop the exam system. Even though this is called a space custom, the original Ifrit has no issue functioning in space as well. It has increased armor and extra propellant along with shin thrusters. It is equipped with triple missile launchers on both arms, a heat sword, and a 105mm machine gun. She messes with him by saying that Nimbus is going to kill his comrades during the test. Her new type omnipotence is so strong that Klust believes her. Marion preps her Saikomu Zaku for her test. They're using simulated rounds, which are dictated by the computer. Melee weapons take the swing into account and calculate the simulated damage. But what happens when two beam sabers clash during a training exercise? Are they not stopped by a force and they keep moving? Or do they have giant foam sabers? I have questions. Marion thanks Nimbus and says that everyone pulls their punches around her, except for him. To her, that makes Nimbus a brave knight. The mock battle begins, but neither moves. Knowing that she is a new type, Nimbus is forcing her to make the first move. Marion can sense nothing from this guy, which causes her to act first. As Nimbus goes in for a melee attack, his mobile suit does a force shutdown. The Zaku is able to dodge his attack. She passes out for a moment, and Nimbus jumps out of his mobile suit to save her. Klust is embarrassed. He got scared and wanted to shut down the mock battle. He didn't have faith in Marion. As she is destined to die, the manga tries to do a flashback fake-out. Klust comes to California base to inspect the salvage Gelgoog and Blue Destiny. The mechanic Jill tells the crew about the supplies they repurposed from Waitland. That is when Klust instantly recognizes her Zeon accent. Remember, she is a Zeon spy working for the Guinea Pig team. She plays it off by saying her mother is a Spacenoid. Yuu tells Klust that he hears Marion, and the doctor says that perhaps he is worthy in Marion's eyes of knowing the truth. Klust goes a little mad as he explains that the exam system is a failsafe to stop new types. He says, "You don't understand. We need test subjects." We don't understand. Maybe start at the beginning. Take a few breaths. Marion is a new type who turned on her fellow Zeon to help take down new types. Yuu pushes him for more questions, but Alf suggests they let the madman rest for now. Klust puts his faith in Yuu. He says that he doesn't care about Federation or Zeon. He is about saving the human race. This was Char's point of view as well after meeting Lala. He knew the war was more about new types versus the rest of the world. He was just on the other side of the aisle. Tristan and Serge were able to find a survivor from Waitwand. He is missing half of his face. He tells Nimbus of the bright glow from the mobile suit. He allows him to join his team and shows him the Nimbus and how it has a similar glow. He is certain this is what he saw in Waitwand. This is also the first time this guy is seeing an Ifrit, as there are only a handful of them made. The next day, Ko tests a new weapons loadout for Blue Destiny. This is the full-armed loadout. The RX-79BD-1FA Blue Destiny Unit 1 Full-Armed is a full-armored variant of the Blue Destiny with additional armor, a new chest unit, and a shoulder beam cannon. This is designed for special missions, as this greatly reduces the capabilities of the exam unit. Weapons include Vulcans, a beam saber, the shoulder beam cannon, a twin beam cannon used by the Gym Dominants, a 79mm rocket launcher, a Gatling gun, and a shield. This still retains the magnetic coating as well. The top brass, along with Klust, is watching this test. He tests out the new Gatling guns, which are blazing fast. He then tests the shoulder beam cannon, sending dust and everyone's eyes watching. Hope you wore safety goggles. Yuu tells Marion that he wants her to lend him power to protect the people. Much of the full-armed loadout doesn't do much to help the exam system, but it makes him look fancy for the higher-ups, so they go ooh and ah and give him more money. Jill learns this while spying on Klust. Yuu is quiet, but something is eating at him. Nimbus is also training with Serge and Tristan. The survivor of Waitwand, whose name is Vittorio, is working as the Nimbus mechanic. Everyone is excited to have him on board. Nimbus says since he is a mechanic, he must know everything. He tells the man that Marion is no more, but her power has been entrusted into him. They must defeat the blue mobile suit as it has a fragment of Marion. Klust believes that Marion was a tool to destroy humanity, but Marion is a tool that will bring forth peace. These past few issues, Philip has been passive-aggressive about the higher-ups using them as a guinea pig. Simona reminds them that they are called the Guinea Pig team. Today, they are testing the stealth loadout, but it is going to a live deployment. We will talk about this loadout next time. This operation is called Project Legacy. Yuu salutes Blue and hopes that the mobile suit will give him the strength to win. The Federation higher-ups are looking at the field data of Blue Destiny. They aren't really buying any of the psychic magic nonsense, however. They also see this program as resource-heavy. Jill brings Alf an energy drink. He believes that the idiots at the top can't make policy change if they can't even grasp what a new type is. He sees them as no different from the zombies. Alf says that General Revel is the only executive officer that seems to get it. Klust was able to keep their budget for now. He says that they have to swallow their pride for money. Yuu has Blue on his mind, and the rest of the team takes note.
Meanwhile, Nimbus is fighting against two Doms in a training exercise. Vittorio, being new to the team, understands that the Ifrit is a new type mobile suit. Surge thinks of the past and says that they have skeletons in their closet. Nimbus comes over and says that Vittorio deserves to know, now that he is the Ifrit mechanic. After going through the data, he says he would love to meet Marion. He says that is no longer possible. Her power has been entrusted to Nimbus. He says her power can also be seen in the Federation's blue unit. However, Marion was never intended to be used to eradicate new types. Nimbus wants to return what Cluss stole in order to make Marion whole, as he puts it. Vittorio feels he overstepped his bounds. Surge says, yeah, you did, but the fact that he opened up shows that he trusts you. Bringing an end to this war is what Marion wanted. Alf shows you the stealth loadout. They're skipping testing and deploying it on a mission. Philip is once again mad that they are being used as expendables. They are commencing Operation Project Legacy. The age of Minovsky particles brought forth a new era of sensory warfare. Sight, heat, and sound can all be used to get the edge on the enemy. And with this kind of warfare comes stealth tech. Everything changed for the Federation when they got their hands on the Ifrit Nacht. The MS-08TXN Ifrit Nacht is a close-range variant of the Ifrit and designed for stealth. Nacht means night in German. It has jamming systems to cause disruption. It also has an improved backpack and a pair of twin thrusters in the legs. This unit is equipped with the Nacht blade to avoid heat detection and has anti-beam coating. Other weapons include the Cold Kunai, a triple Gatling gun, and the MMP-80 90mm machine gun. This was one of many treasures found on Earth that once belonged to Makuve.
Frank stole one of his swords.
This was the basis for all of the Federation's stealth technology, including the Blue Destiny stealth. Black Destiny. The RX-79 BD-1 ST Blue Destiny Unit 1 Stealth incorporates technology from the Ifrit Nacht to create a stealth variant of the unit. This mobile suit is coated in black paint, which can change color when heated. However, it makes it susceptible to heat. It is also covered in sound-dampening materials to make it quieter. This unit has magnetic coating and the exam system. Weapons include head Vulcan guns and the YHI-YF MG100 100mm machine gun. Alf goes over the details with Yuu. He tells him this mission is more to help the top brass give them money. Alf also doesn't like seeing blue, not blue. Philip and Simona are going to be using special ground gems. At the beginning of this chapter, we saw a painting. This painting was said to be the spark that ignited a renaissance that brought forth the ideas of Yuri Minovsky. Their mission is to retrieve this painting that Xion stole. A Medea will touch down. Yuu and the first team will retrieve the painting while the second and third team provide support. They can't get so much as a scratch on the painting. For Xion, this painting means everything, as it shows that the colonies will one day control the world. Destroying this painting can embolden Xion. To put it bluntly, if they lose this painting, they lose the war. It's better to destroy it than to lose it. Jill and Philip are getting some drinks and food. He seems to be the only person that didn't know about the painting. I guess he isn't that smart. I mean, Jill is a spy using him right in this moment. She suggests that they invite you and Simona sometime so she can pick their brains. Yeah, not smart at all. While Philip goes to the bathroom, Jill notes the painting is only good for propaganda and calls the Feddies idiots. The next day, they head out on the mission. Maureen and the hover truck notes that they could only pick up the third team's movements, as the first team is completely hidden under her sonar. The first team heads out. Simona and Philip are in the new stealth ground gym. The RGM-79G ST Gym ground type stealth has a retrofitted chess piece that collects data that is later integrated into Blue Destiny stealth. At the time, this unit was still in development. Its main weapon is the YHI-YF MG100 100mm machine gun. Team 2 consists of Jose Rivera, Rocco Moko, and Ego Luigo. Team 3 is Pewview Hutchinson, Ensign John Sato, and Sting Hustler. Samzaku spot a goof and continue moving on. Ever since the Battle of Odessa, Xion's forces have been dwindling. It's best that they stay on their own for now as they head to their new unit. They mention that Makuve prioritized resources over people. Much of that is priceless artifacts. Meanwhile, the goof in that squad happen to be hiding Makuve's valuables, and they aren't supposed to be seen. The commander tells the goof pilot to kill their comrades. His men call the commander a glorified art dealer. They are all on edge as they have the painting, but they are trapped on Earth. Meanwhile, the first team moves in. The third team is on the outskirts. They have lost all contact with everyone. Yuu and the first team are on their own. Yuu is using a special rifle that sacrifices range for silence. One Xeon mobile suit is in front of him, and a Zaku running support in the distance. He hopes that Philip will handle the support enemy. He is confident that his team will have his back. Yuu takes aim and fires, setting off the battle. He only hits the enemy's right arm. The enemy is a Goof Tactical Assault type. The MS-07G2 Goof Tactical Assault type is a version of the Goof with increased firepower. It has a gun pack on the left arm which contains a machine gun, a medium-ranged rifle, a flamethrower, and a small rocket launcher. Other weapons include a heat rod, a 120mm Gatling gun, and a shield which equips a heat sword. The Zaku running support is taken out by Philip. Another rushes in. However, the unit is still standing. What is up with their ammo, Yuu wonders. They are, after all, supposed to be prioritizing stealth. Time to get a little creative. Yuu blends in with the urban environment. The enemy team realizes that there is a third team amongst the ranks. The Goof pilot says, "Screw it, I have all this ammo. Time to start firing blindly." This allows him to spot Blue in hiding. The commander looks at the painting. He thinks maybe he could burn it himself. Philip and Simona are able to lure one of the Goofs into view. It is the Goof Vianta. The MS-07G1 Goof Vianta is a Goof variant designed for breaching defenses. This and the Goof Tactical Assault type was going to be one unit, making it both a very mobile and heavy firepower unit. However, the Vinyanta is the heavy unit, and the Tactical Assault type is the mobile unit. Weapons include the Scissor Anchor Launcher, a Mine's Rod, the Removal Mace, and a 120mm machine gun. One Zaku, which I believe is a Zaku Sniper 1, dives down on them. Yuu thinks about using the exam system, but decides not to. The heat suppression on Blue is slowing down fire output. Too bad that wasn't tested beforehand. In the distance, Nimbus and his team spy on Yuu and Marion. A man named Eugene Scola approaches the Xeon commander watching over the painting. Throughout this chapter, there has been a group sneaking into the church. This happens to be the artist. The first team is getting attacked from every angle. The black paint on Philip's unit is wearing off, revealing the old paint job underneath. At the church, the artist says this vision will return to its creator, while holding a gun at the Xeon soldier. Yuu is tired of this cat and mouse game and does a super jump. He decides he is going to fight how he is trained. These stealth tactics aren't working for him. Now that their paint is wearing off, they can output their weapons to a higher output, and their weapons are actually effective, getting shots on the Zakus and Goofs. Or at least that's what I assume happens. They just can't fire at them, and then suddenly they can. I'm assuming it's the paint. The Goof says, "Screw this, I'm just gonna destroy the painting." He heads towards the church where they are hiding out. Yuu chases after them. The Goof fires a missile. Yuu rushes to stop it, but he is slow. That is when Marion reaches out to him and activates the exam system. With her, he is able to stop the missiles. Nimbus and his team watch as the exam system was activated. It was only activated for a few seconds, and they were disappointed. Nimbus sees all he needs, and the team moves out. The second and third team move in to help arrest Xeon. They learn that the painting was burned by the artist himself. They are amazed that he was willing to kill for his artwork. He didn't want his work twisted for someone's political agenda. Yuu said that he saw an angel with wings reach out to him before the exam system was activated. The artist said he saw something similar before burning the painting. Alf says that was a short rampage. Yuu says it wasn't a rampage. It activated because it had to. Project Legacy is complete. Both the Goof Vinyanta and the Tactical Assault type were destroyed. The second and third team put some Xeon soldiers in a pincer move when Yuu and Blue comes in. They eliminate Xeon targets while the remaining surrender. Ever since Operation Project Legacy, they have been pushing hard. You could tell the battle on Earth is coming to a close. Philip is rocking them tighty-whities. They all have the next few days off. He is mad Jill will be on a special mission. When Philip asks Yuu what he plans on doing, Alf comes in and tells him that his break is cancelled and he will be needed for a special mission. They are heading to Dr. Klust's lab to help with the development of Unit 2 and 3. He is in. This is the mission that Jill will be on as well, so it is Philip who will be left out. They head out in a dish, aka the Flying Turtle. Soak it in, boys, we don't see the dish that often. They meet with Klust where he shows them Unit 2 and 3. It is just the frame, and the armor is still being worked on. The RX-79 BD2, Blue Destiny Unit 2, has the same exam system like Unit 1, but this unit doesn't have the limiters built in, and can go full berserker. This has a Gundam head from the ground Gundam. It can be configured for Earth and space combat by changing out its backpack. It uses the shield of the Gym Command. Weapons include head Vulcans, 60mm chest Vulcans, a wired control missile, a beam saber, a 100mm machine gun, and the Blash XBR M79E beam rifle. The RX-79BD3 Blue Destiny Unit 3 was originally supposed to be used for parts for Unit 1 and 2, but will be used by Yuu Kajima. This is painted to resemble the ground Gundam and has the Gundam head like Unit 2. This too can be used in space and on Earth depending on the backpack. It uses the same weapons as Unit 2 with the addition of the ground Gundam shield. These two units are designed for space but follow different design philosophies. Unit 2 uses Xeon design principles focusing on the exam system, while Unit 3 demonstrates the best of the Federation's technology and is a mobility beast. This has always been the design difference between Xeon and EFF when it came to new types. The Federation, or at least Amado, focused on using biocomputers to shave off milliseconds of time to get the edge mobility-wise, while Xeon used psycho waves to control funnel tech. Unlike Unit 1's Gym head, these units have a Gundam head. They currently can't move, but the exam system can activate. Clust wants you to work on both units. He reminds you that he is the only one that has tested you in the field. Out of Unit 2's cockpit comes Claire Kilmer. She was the one that went berserk in the exam unit. Yuu is going to run space combat simulation in Unit 3. Clust reminds you that even though the simulation is fake, the exam system is very much real. You could tell these are gym ground type cockpits. This is before they made changes to Unit 2 and 3. Clust is ultimately still bummed because the top brass won't see the updated software or design choices. They will probably just look at the design and say, but it looks like a gym. Management always sucks. Jill makes some design suggestions to Unit 3. She makes Unit 3 resemble the ground Gundam. This will make the higher-ups' ears perk. Clust is down if it gives them the budget they need. Yuu is reminded of his saberfish piloting days and thinks of his old friend Frank. Alf reminds him that a mobile suit in space is very different from a saberfish. It brings him back to the Battle of Loon days. Ah yes, just what everyone wants to be reminded of. The week where humanity was literally halved. Claire will help him acclimate to the unit before they enter combat. As they play a game of Follow the Leader, Yuu realizes how fluid the movements of the mobile suit are. It is nothing like the saberfish. He feels like this is true freedom. They then enter combat and both activate their exam systems. Yuu could feel the presence of Unit 2. It doesn't feel chaotic like what he felt at Weight Wand. Yuu is able to spot and shoot at Unit 2. Clust and Alf look at the readings in excitement. Yuu's reaction time is insane. At the same moment, Nimbus's Ifrit is acting on its own. He tries to calm it down. Blue Destiny tests are complete for the day. This exceeded Clust's expectations. These won't be ready for the final push on California base, but they will be ready once they head back into space. Yuu does Batman thumbs up .gif to Claire. Later, Claire visits Yuu late at night to talk about the exam system. He wonders if this is about Marion. It seems Yuu already knows, but what he doesn't know is that this is a different entity called Art. They ended up trading Art to Augusta Labs for a new unit. They hear that Art evolved into something called Hades. This is referring to Pale Rider. Exam's true nature was never to go chaotic like it does. Yuu mentions the power he gets when Blue consumes him. Claire refers to this as D-Phase. Remember, they are trying to use this to be a new type killer. She says that he mustn't use D-Phase anymore. Yuu tells her he can't make any promises, but he will try his best. The exam system intentions are to seek out and destroy new types. Art was intended to mass produce the exam system. What we are seeing here is the first new type destroyer system. What this writer is suggesting is a link between the NTD system of Unicorn and the exam system being developed during the 1 Year War. I imagine this is a new retcon and isn't in the original Destiny manga or the game, but let me know if that's wrong. Meanwhile, Surge tells Nimbus that they found out that Clust's lab is located in Quebec. He thinks now's the time to strike, but Nimbus knows they will return to the fight at California base. They will wait for them to attack. Yuu thinks that what he felt today was the real Marion. The exam system on Unit 1 is a dark joy, as Yuu puts it. Jill asks him how was it. He says that this time he could grasp Exam's true essence. Jill says this sounds like love more so than a battle, and it captured both of their hearts. Meanwhile, in her head, she is thinking she needs to help accelerate Blue's destruction. We flash back to Yuu and Claire's conversation. He wonders if there's any way to free Marion from that system. All that Claire knows is that her body is in a coma. Yuu is determined to find a way to free Marion from the exam system. Yuu returns to New Bern Base, where Philip spent most of his time getting a tan by the pool. He tells the team that he ran into a woman that was originally piloting Blue. They, along with Panama and Alaska base, are converging onto California base as their main focus. They aren't to take their anti-air defenses lightly. They will take on different vectors after traversing through the Rockies. They are using the 3 teams to test 3-dimensional warfare tactics. Alf tells them that they are designed for field testing on Earth, and ground operations are coming to an end once they reclaim California Base. At this point in Universal Century, it is still important to remember they are trying to convince the higher-ups that mobile suit warfare is the future. Remember, the Birmingham-class ship in the future isn't even designed around mobile suits, and it isn't until the Dogo Skiar that they start to design ships around mobile suits. Yu's heavy loadout, along with the hover truck, will deploy alongside them. The first team is to eliminate all hostiles in sight. Jose and the second team will be focusing on rapid assault and securing a landing zone. Sato and the third team will follow the second and defend the supplies drop down until the first team can move in. Their aquatic forces have been ravaged and they stole their subs and made it some sort of monstrosity. This is reference to the Mad Angler class ship. Remember, during the Earth invasion, Zeon stole the Federation's Lockwood class sub and turned them into Mad Anglers. Alf tells them that the full armor loadout isn't designed for the exam system, which is fine by Yu as he only uses it as a last resort. We cut to the mission. The first team are moving in past the Rockies. The second and third team are already in the battle. They touch down on the ground. Yu is completing setup in full armor mode. The RX-79BD 1FA Blue Destiny Unit 1 full armored is a Blue Destiny with a new chest unit, a shoulder beam cannon, and additional armor. It uses the beam cannons used by the GEM Dominants and the missile launchers used by the GEM Ground type. The exam system performs poorly with the extra weight. Other weapons include head Vulcans, a beam saber, a Gatling gun, and a shield. It is complete, and Yu is good to go. Close by is Nimbus and his team. California Base was captured by the Second Earth Drop Force, led by Garmazabi. Having this position on Earth gave Zeon close access to Jaburo. This led to a stalemate in the one-year war until Odessa. It was in part due to Zeon's naval superiority. It's wild that the Federation gave up on naval defenses in the age of Universal Century. Meanwhile, Zeon's like, this place is mostly water. Let's just focus on that. And it really do be that simple. After the death of Garmazabi, it was merely a war of attrition as they slowly pushed Zeon off planet over time. The first team commenced their operation. Yu fires his shoulder beam cannon. Sato and Team 2 create a path for everyone to push forward. Simono maintains long-distance support while Philip deploys gun turrets. They secure the central base and are backing Zeon into a corner. They are getting desperate. The first team are able to take out Zeon in the area. Yu tells Team 2 that they did a great job. He can sense something is coming and tells everyone to scatter. They are attacked by a Zok. This is a specific Zok that was seen in the video games Journey to Jaburo and the Lost War Chronicles. It also seems to resemble the Thunderbolt Zok design. They need backup. At the other end of the base, the Ifrit comes in. They help Zeon evacuate and are moving in to attack. They enter into an empty hangar to do quick maintenance. Vittorio says they are out of parts and are amazed they made it this far with Ifrit. The worst option in terms of maintenance and repairability, it was inevitable. It seems like their goal is to get their hands on Unit 2 and 3. Ifrit resonates, which means Yu is nearby. Time for the 2 exam systems to go down. Yu's backpack generator is drained. Philip says he's got this and he moves in with the GEM Dominants. He realizes that their only chance is to circle around and hit the Zok from behind. He thinks he should activate the exam system, but it isn't time yet. Simona and Philip provide cover fire while Yu moves in. Nimbus and his team move in on Dodai 2s. As Zeon moves into attack, Tristan says the Fedi soldiers that slowed them down are incompetent. But Surge understands that soldiers follow orders, and the fault lies in the leadership. Nimbus understands this as well. Surge thinks this is what makes the lieutenant great. He flashes back to the Battle of Loom. The battle is lost. Surge continues pushing forward. They help shield the commanders as the rest retreat. That is when Nimbus comes in, helping Surge and the remaining pilots. He won't let them be a meat shield. One pilot tells them to protect the ship, but Nimbus chooses the greater good over the few. The pilot tries to kill Nimbus for insubordination, but Nimbus attacks first, killing one of his comrades. Later, Zeon passed it off as an accident. Nimbus was demoted from commander to lieutenant. He was branded the name Brass Butcher and was banished from frontline service. Surge tells Tristan that Nimbus represents true knighthood. He is all in for Nimbus's cause. Nimbus, Tristan, and Surge move in to claim victory. For the first time while piloting Blue, Yu comes face to face with Nimbus. He gets a sensation as though the exam system is trying to activate itself, while Philip is yelling on the comms. It seems Maureen and Alf aren't picking up anything strange on their end. Alf thinks that Dr. Kluss added hidden protocols to Blue without Alf's knowledge. Nimbus wants to witness this unit's true power and see who is worthy of the exam system. Something happens to Marion inside Blue. It activates the D phase, also known as the Berserker state. Claire warned him not to do this last episode. The Ifrit strikes first. Yuu is able to bob and weave. Nimbus says that the exam has become grotesque and that Clust is corrupting the purity of the exam system. Simona tries to fire his cannon, but is attacked by Surge and Tristan. It seems that Surge has a sniper loadout backpack. Nimbus tells his team to back off. This is a duel between two knights. Yuu tells Marion that she is free to move of her own will. Yuu dodges the Ifrit's blade. Nimbus thinks he has tamed the exam system. Yuu thinks that Clust is wrong and that the D phase is Marion's true form. It's the will of both Marion and Yuu working together. Nimbus finally introduces himself to Yuu and says they are worthy of a true battle. But you already attacked him. Yuu wonders if there is some significance to these two machines meeting. Both clash with their swords. Maureen mentions that Blue dropped below 40% capacity, but Alf is certain that the auxiliary systems that Clust put into Blue is allowing it to run at 100%. Clust seemed to have foresight to program something in case an exam system fights an exam system. Even the limiter put into the system seems to not be broken. Yuu fires his missile pods. Nimbus slices through them instead of dodging. He is anticipating Yuu's every move. Yuu notes that he has full control over the machine and the exam system. Philip goes to help Yuu while Simona stays back and handles the Doms. But as he turns the corner, a trap turret has been set. The Doms get the upper hand on them. Tristan and Surge tell Philip and Simona to let the two fight. The four have their own battle. Nimbus hits Yuu's right arm. He says the exam system likes me more than you. He wonders why only Marion transmits pain and sorrow to Yuu. He asks Nimbus to tell him the truth about Marion. Nimbus shouts, "How dare you say that name?" He knocks one of Blue's beam sabers out of his hand. In the distance, Vittorio watches in the Dodai Kai and notes that he is fighting different. The thought of Marion triggered Nimbus, and now he is off kilter. Simona looks up and says, "Oh, free kill." He takes down all but one Dodai. He could see Marion guarding Yuu. Blue gets a direct hit on Ifrit's head. Yuu and Nimbus charge at one another. The Ifrit's knee joint goes out. It's as though Marion stripped him of his power at the last moment and left him. The Ifrit drops to its knees. A lost knight. As Yuu goes in for the final blow, Surge jumps in between the two and he lalas himself. Classic sacrifice. Surge pulls Yuu in close and fires his bazooka at point-blank range, destroying the head. Luckily, the cockpit wasn't in there. But what was in there was the exam system. The Feddies will go on to claim California base, but the loss of the exam system will go on to be erased from the battle. Tristan fires and heads towards Ifrit. Nimbus jumps out and tells Tristan to destroy Ifrit so it won't fall into the hands of EFF, but he can't pull the trigger and needs to focus on escaping. He grabs Nimbus. Vittorio tells him to head towards the sea where they have a Jukan waiting. Zeon makes their escape. November 30th, the Jaburo drop operation. This full-on assault by Zeon led to failure, causing a devastating blow to Zeon's Earth forces. California base has been reclaimed. The North American and African fronts were now in EFF's hands. The front has now been pushed off planet and the war continues in space. On the 2nd of December, it was rumored that a new type core launched along with the 2nd Combined Fleet. On Earth, Yuu is being spared punishment for wrecking Blue. He will be given either Unit 2 or 3 once completed. Unit 1 is totaled, but Alf wants to try to salvage it. They are also going to try to restore the Ifrit. He would like to use the Ifrit to fix Unit 1, but Alf knows Clust won't allow that. Jill shows off their new Gyan Custom. The YMS-15J Gyan Jill Jigwer Custom was built by Jill using spare Federation parts. This is painted in Federation colors and is said to use spare parts of Makuve's personal unit. It is equipped with a heat lance and a shield. Since it uses spare parts from Makuve's Gyan and they are on Earth, we can assume this is going off of Gundam origin, where Makuve and his Gyan died fighting at Odessa. Someone in the comments tell me how he dies in the video game. This dude dies so many times depending on who writes him. Jill shows off and makes Philip nervous. Yuu tells Marion that if they win this war, he will free her from her prison. He wonders why Nimbus had full control over the exam system, yet doesn't seem to see Marion. Perhaps he is shutting her out. Jill heads back to Quebec to help Clust. It seems she helped Nimbus and his team locate the Quebec base where Unit 2 and 3 are located. Nimbus and his men move in to attack Jims at the base's wall. They are hoping that Jill neutralized the security systems from within. Tristan feels the need to protect Nimbus now that Surge is gone. MPs try to get Clust out of there, but he knows they are after Unit 2 and 3. Nimbus takes out the MPs in the hangar where he has met with Clust for the first time in ages. He kills the remaining MPs with Clust and Jill. Clust tries to get Nimbus to join them and to help build the exam system. but he sticks a sword in his mouth and tells him to shut up. The Xeon commander wants to know why he turned his back on Marion. For Clust, it is simple. New types are the enemy. He is grateful for her help, but at the end of the day, she is a tool for Clust. Jill kills one of the mechanics helping out. Clust realizes she is a traitor. Nimbus takes out his rapier and slashes through Clust. Also, I want this sword. Now that Clust is dead, Jill wants to join Nimbus's team. Nimbus gets into Blue Destiny Unit 2 and activates it. That is when another blue comes out of the... blue. It happens to be Unit 0. The RGM-79BD0 Blue Destiny Unit 0 is based off of the Gym ground type and is the initial test unit for the exam system. Additional cooling and sensors were added for data gathering. This unit was intended solely for mobility and is only equipped with head Vulcans. The pilot of Unit 0 is Claire. Back at Newburn Base, Alf informs you and the others that Quebec was attacked. They have been given deployment orders. Alf is mad about losing Blue, but Philip is more concerned about Jill, still not knowing she is a spy. The first team rolls out. Unit 0 doesn't have a head. It reaches out to Unit 2, but Nimbus slices through the arm with the beam saber. Claire asks him why he is acting against Marion's will. Nimbus is the one causing her pain. He says she wouldn't understand, but Claire knows what it is like to turn their back on someone. She says Yuu Kajima understands better than any of them. Nimbus silences her and the unit. She wonders what Marion was to Nimbus. Tristan wants to take Unit 3, but Nimbus tells him to leave it behind. He will let you take it to see who is the true wielder of the exam system. Medea's approach the facility, and the Xeon team bails. They also take the Gion as well. Yu finds the base in ruins. 12 mobile suits were taken out. Philip is upset that Jill is nowhere to be found. They think that she was captured. Alf is shaken by Nimbus's commitment to kill him with a saber. Yu looks down at Claire's dead body. He knows that he is destined to take down Nimbus. Yu understands that Nimbus left Unit 3 for that very reason. He must do this so he could set Marion free. We start with the state of the current war by seeing glimpses of events. We see White Base make its push towards Solomon. We see the 16th Autonomous Corps and the Thoroughbred from Gundam Side Story and Missing Link. We then see the Slave Wraiths team from Missing Link. I need to return to covering those. And then there is the Guinea Pig team. The next destination is a Xeon HLV base in Moscow. Yu is certain Nimbus is there. The Guinea Pig team is informed that they are too late as there was an HLV launch yesterday. Yu says if that is the case, we need to go into space as well. But they have to figure out Nimbus's destination before they start making moves. The commander providing them with intel suggests joining their garrison for a mission to take out the HLV base. They have one gym Cold Districts type and a bunch of Zakus that they repurposed. For more on the Cold Districts type, go check out War in the Pocket. It's almost that time of the year anyways. He says if they take that base, they are free to look at the flight logs and records. It will probably contain Nimbus's location. They head out. The commander pilots the D-type gym, while his men and the guinea pigs follow suit. He tells you that the D-type is a product of his team's testing. 3 DOMs move in. 2 try to flank while 1 other rushes forward. Unit 3 is able to take out all 3 with lightning-fast speeds. Yu wonders if he should activate the exam system. Marion says, no, not yet. Their mission is complete. They have captured the base. However, watching over the guinea pigs is the Slave Wraith team. They wanted to capture the base and wondered what move they should make next. Travis Kirkland says that this reminds him of the Blue Reaper, which is not blue. He is talking about Pale Rider. However, he notes this is different. Regardless, it seems they plan on attacking the guinea pigs. Maureen is gathering all the records, though it is heavily encrypted. The commander plans on blowing this place up in 30 minutes. The cold weather is making tensions run high, but Philip's gym dominance is using too much power. Meanwhile, Travis is moving in his Slave Wraith. Marine gets a signal that the incoming allies heading towards the base were attacked. Philip and Simona's suits are currently getting repairs. Alf says, do I have some mobile suits for you? The two end up going out in Zaku's, with Yu in blue taking the front. Doris leads the guinea pigs into a trap. They took the bait. However, Yu and the team holds their position. Yu knows something is ahead. The Slave Wraith says screw it and make the first move. Yu pulls out his beam saber and moves in for close combat. Travis says he is trying to bring out the unit's full power. They were the ones who sent out a distress signal. Simona calls that dirty tactics. That is when Marion says, hey man, let's do this. Blue moves into action. Their dummy hover truck detonates. But Blue is too fast. Travis says, come at me, bro. Diver sets a trap while Bomber moves in. Meanwhile, Unit 2 and Nimbus have made their way to space. We get a brief intro to the Slave Wraiths. Doris Brand, aka Diver, is the intel gal. She is in a Type 61 tank and fires at Philip. Marvin Harriet, aka Bomber, is the firearms expert sporting a gun cannon heavy Type D. Simona is dodging his attack. Edward Lee, aka Hire, is a mechanic who can pilot anything. Travis, aka Fixer, is waiting for Yuu to make a slip-up in the snow. Yuu says this pilot has crossed paths with the exam system. This is because of his experience with Hades. Yuu fully activates the exam. It jumps in the air with such grace and speed that they think it can fly under Earth's gravity. Yuu goes for the head, but he stops short. Travis wonders why he stopped. He says that Blue tells him what a bad guy is, and he isn't a bad guy. They all meet one another and learn that the Slave Wraiths are the 20th Mechanized Composite Corps. The Federation has 20 experimental special forces teams running around during the One-Year War. Until they need to make more Gundams and expand out the One-Year War even more, we're milking this for every last drop, bitches. He wants to know more about the unit they came across during their time in Jaburo. That is similar to Yuu's unit. Alf tells him he is probably talking about Pale Rider using Hades. Remember, near the beginning of this manga, when Yuu passed out, they were carrying a core. This core eventually moved to Augusta Labs and became Hades. Al says not to compare the units, as Hades crosses the line into inhumane territory. What about Marion, bro? That seems like a gray zone. Diver helps Marine encrypt the base records. Unlike Pale Rider, Blue warned Yuu not to attack the Slave Wraiths. They must truly be different. The Slave Wraiths take off on their secret mission. The Guinea Pigs are ready to head into space. Later, the team runs simulations at Luna 2. Philip is mad that they aren't going directly after Jill, but they still need training in Zero G. Nimbus and his team seem to be heading to Side 5. This brings up bad memories from the one-week war that Yuu doesn't want to revisit. In a coincidence, Amado and Char are fighting one another at Side 5 in Texas Colony. This will be the future home of the Garden of Thorns, and this will later become the Frontier Colonies. Remember, Side 4 was at L5 before moving to L1, which is where Side 5 is located. I think this author is calling all L1 colonies Side 5. It should also include the future home of Industrial 7 as well, but that isn't mentioned. The Guinea Pigs check out the Lancia, a testbed Salamis-class ship retrofitted as a mobile suit carrier. Data from the Lancia went on to inform the Nelson-class ship. We discussed the Nelson in our Johnny Ryden coverage. As Yuu launches in Blue, he thinks about the colony drop. A Chevet-class ship is harboring the Nimbus team. The captain's right-hand man wonders why Caecilia is going through all the trouble for one team. He is unsure, but the blue unit that Nimbus has makes him uncertain. Jill's Gyan is good to go, but Unit 2 still needs to be finely tuned for space use. Tristan and Jill bicker about leaving parts behind that will help them in space. Their Federation scouts approach the Chevet. Nimbus decides to handle them himself. Unit 2 isn't configured properly. Blue shoulders are painted red with the Xeon seal. Nimbus swiftly takes out the gems and balls. Everyone watches in awe by the power of Blue. One day he will have to utilize the exam, but today is not that day. Yuu is taking out 2 Rick Doms. He and Marion are working together as perfect partners. Suck it, Philip and Simona. He takes down a Chevet class. Philip, Simona, and Yuu bicker with one another about their maneuvers. They aren't working well as a team in space. They meet with Alf about the next mission. They're helping out the captain before heading to Side 5. We meet the Lancia captain, David Bedford. He says that they are still green in space, so they're taking a slight detour to meet with the Thoroughbred and the 16th Autonomous Corps. Yuu needs a Gundam as a sparring partner. The Thoroughbred is in charge of holding the line between Solomon and Granada, and to sever supply lines between the two. The Thoroughbred gets a message. The message says, "This old warrior dons the mantle of knighthood once more, honoring the Federation's aspirations embodied in your vessel's name, and gallops towards inevitable triumph." The captain, Commander Kirsten Lobard, knows that this is David. The 11th and the 16th meet. The two captains reminisce. In the hangar, they show off Gundam's Unit 4 and Unit 5. They all meet with Ford Romfellow and Luce Cassell. Ford challenges Yuu to a simulated battle in his G5 versus Unit 3. He, of course, accepts. Maureen is mad, but still collects data on this testosterone competition disguised as training. The two begin. The goal is simply to take down the other unit. Ford fires his giant Gatling gun. In the simulator, he can't sense Marion, but his desire to take down Nimbus is all the motivation he needs. Yuu needs to get in close if he wants to win. Yuu's aim is amazing, but Ford's maneuvers are better. Ford fights with fearlessness, and Yuu can't get a feel on him. 4 stabs Unit 3's right arm. That is when Alf comes in and stops the simulation. Yuu instantly asks questions about Ford's maneuvers. Philip says that they won't stand a chance in a team battle. They then do a team simulation where the guinea pigs get wrecked. Unit 5's Gatling gun and Unit 4's Mega Beam launcher work flawlessly with one another. It vaporized Philip's gym dominance and the simulation. Alf mentions that he got some good spatial awareness data from the simulations. It is rare that Alf can collect Gundam versus Gundam data, so they should savor this opportunity. Isn't Blue just a gym with a Gundam head? They prepare for the next mock battle. It will be the Lancia and Guinea Pigs versus the Thoroughbred, 3 Salamas's, G4, G5, and some gun cannons. They are to search and destroy the Thoroughbred while in the asteroid cluster. This test is about fighting while reserving their propulsion. It's pointless to win a battle if you can't make it back to your ship. You wouldn't want that to happen. Philip says, "Why are you pointing at me, man?" You know why, Philip. You know why. The Guinea Pigs move in. They're going to be masters of stealth, so they need to be on their guard. Long-range attacks are going to be their enemy in this battle. A beam blast gets close to the team. It is 2 Salamis-class ships moving in. Yu wonders why the commander revealed the 2 ships with that shot. He realizes they are using the 2 ships as a wall. They have to maneuver in the asteroid field. The 16th is planning a war of attrition. They knew that the Guinea Pigs needed to rush in and end the battle swiftly if they wanted to win. This will slow them down and, even worse, waste their propellant. They are forcing Yu's team to make a beeline. The Thoroughbred moves in to phase 2 of their plan. Public-class ships approach the Guinea Pigs. Hey, that wasn't in the mission briefing. They take down a few, but some fire a beam diffusion screen. This makes their beam weapons useless. They are forced into a funnel where G5 is waiting, ready to attack. Side 5, New Type Labs. Vittorio accepts Jill as one of the Xeon mechanics. Her Gyan is already configured for space as she was prepared for this. She mentions Lady Kycelia is waiting for them, and the Federation will soon follow suit. She is the only one in Xeon that invests in New Type theory. Vittorio asks about Yu, the Unit 3 pilot. She says that he is the only one that can use Xeon mobile suits with minimal training, and not to take him lightly. He mentions that the exam system that he worked on has no consideration for the pilot. She says not to worry, as Nimbus and Yu are beyond normal and can handle it. Nimbus and Tristan are in the park on Side 3. He is annoyed by their debriefing. It seems priorities of the war have changed. Nimbus and the exam system are being left behind. He tells Tristan to head back to New Type Labs. He is going to Side 6. They are neutral on the surface, but they actually make parts for both Xeon and the Federation. They will need parts for Unit 2. Side 6. Nimbus visits a hospital where he visits a real Marion who is in a coma. He is mad that she was the only true comrade that could defeat Nimbus, and the two bonded in their talents. He is very upset that she was taken away before he could get a rematch with her. So it isn't romantic in nature, but it still could be. She's just his greatest rival. That is, until he met Yu. He believes only one exam unit can stand, and he sees it as a test for Marion's soul. We return to the mock battle. Alf feels he didn't prepare properly. Captain Bedford mentions that once your men launch, all you could do is try your best to bring them back. Bedford asks what Marine thinks, as she has been with the 11th since the beginning. She is certain they will find a way to win. Unit 5 chases Yu. Simona and Philip need to chase, but Philip is almost out of propellant. He is going to try to jump from asteroid to asteroid and hope momentum takes him where he needs to go. At a certain speed, it's no longer landing, it's crashing. I think I mentioned this was a simulated battle last time, but this is actually a real mock battle, which is why Marion is here, unlike when he was in the simulator. Yu is trying to lead him into a trap. Yu makes it to the Thoroughbred. Luce realizes that now that Ford is chasing Yu, the Thoroughbred can't fire at Unit 3 without hitting Unit 5. Luce rushes in to engage in close combat. He and Ford surround Yu, while Yu fights the 2 Gundams. Simona focuses on the Thoroughbred. There are a wave of gun cannons protecting the ship. The Thoroughbred throws out some chaff. There are anti-countermeasures in real life called DIRCM or DIRCM, which stand for Directional Infrared Countermeasures. The Thoroughbred seems to be using a laser-comm version of this, which helps blind missiles. Ford needs to fall back, but he is consumed with taking down the Gundam. Yu is probably thinking to himself, he called Blue a Gundam. A gym transitioning into a Gundam? Such progress. Philip finally joins the battle by jumping off an asteroid. He pushes off one and it flings towards Ford. Luce jumps in the way and the asteroid smashes into his face. Alf calls off the mock battle. There is no winner, but Luce, who is fine, admits that they were outmatched, and the Guinea Pigs might have won that if they continued. Ford admits that the Guinea Pigs' teamwork is superior to theirs, and they need to get better. Ford says, "Boy, will I never let glory ruin a mission again." Spoiler alert for Ford's side story. He does indeed do this again, and will get someone killed because of it. The 11th and the 16th part ways. Zaku's approach the Lancia. Simona and Philip launch, with Philip acting as the commander. Blue is currently undergoing upgrades. Yu asks Alf if he could even beat Unit 2. Unit 2 and Unit 3 are the same spec-wise. but they have different design philosophies. With Unit 2, it is built with no limiters. Nimbus has full control over the exam and won't go berserk. It is as though the machine was made for him. Alf reminds you that even though there are limiters on Unit 3, that doesn't make it weaker. It is Yu's qualities that he brings to the mobile suit that makes Blue, Blue. Yu tells Alf that both he and Claire could sense Marion. He wants to know more about the Psychomu system. He explains that psycho waves can be translated into human interfaces, but it seems that new types are the only ones capable of handling such a system. The exam system is something like a pseudo-new type brainwave generator modeled after Marion. This should only exist within the cockpit of the machine, but he says in theory it is possible for him to see Marion without a mobile suit. If you could see her, it is safe to assume Nimbus can as well. However, Nimbus doesn't respond to her. If Marion is unconscious somewhere, then it is possible their actions with the exam system might be able to wake her up. All in theory, of course. He mentions a scout team is heading to Side 5 ahead of the Lancia. Meanwhile, a Gym Dominance and Balls are running the scout mission. The pilot is Ensign Aika. Along with her is Warrant Officer Silk, Warrant Officer Hannah, and Warrant Officer Nanami. Silk and Hannah are in F-type balls. The RB-79F ball type, or ball increased armor type, is a variant of the ball. This variant of the ball was created over other variants because they didn't have to modify the production line to make these. Besides additional armor plates, it also has a booster pack and extra propellant and thrusters. Unlike the original ball, pilots seem to actually like these things. Its only weapon is the 180mm low recoil cannon. Nanami mentions multiple units approaching their location. They get a message from Jill. She is luring them into a trap claiming to be a part of the 11th. She is still using Fetty IFF codes. They run into the Gyan and Zaku's. Aika tells Jill to stand behind her. Also, your boyfriend is looking for you. Also, why are you pulling out a beam saber and stabbing me? Jill proceeds to stab and destroy the Gym Dominance. Nanami has to flee and get the intel back to the 11th. While she flees, the others rush in to their demise. Meanwhile, Nimbus preps for Yu by sword fighting by himself with his shirt off. Oh, that's how I prepare for my enemies too, except no pants. The guinea pigs are conducting another test. Simona is in the Gym Command Cannon Propulsion Enhanced spec. The Gym Command Cannon Propulsion Enhanced spec is the Gym Command with additional verniers and an added giant cannon. Like the full-armed, this gives the unit the power of a battleship with the speed of a mobile suit. Phil is in the Gym Dominance Heavy Firepower Overhaul spec. There isn't any data on the Heavy Firepower Overhaul spec, but we could see the addition of 2 added Gatling guns. Simona provides general bombardment, while Philip provides concentrated heavy firepower. Suddenly, Alf cancels the test and shows them video footage from the scouting team. It appears Jill isn't a turncoat. She was a spy from the very beginning. Philip is taking this surprisingly well. They pinpointed the location of the labs they think Nimbus is hiding at. Alf mentions that Klust had data hidden close to this lab, even though Klust defected to EFF. It seems he still didn't trust no one and kept backups of the exam data. The pursuit of knowledge seemed to be Klust's concern even at the expense of loyalty. Their mission is to retrieve this data and recover Unit 2. They will work under the assumption that they are falling into a trap, so they will set up a trap of their own. Alf is going on this mission as well. Philip will be his security while he extracts the data. Philip doesn't like this, but Alf personally chose him. He gives him the mission because he knows this is the one time that he will be able to talk to Jill and probably get closure. Nimbus thanks Jill for communicating with Kycilia during all of this. Vittorio can tell that he is talking like this is a suicide mission, and he doesn't intend to return from this battle. He rallies the men. Even Tristan can see that Nimbus is talking weird. Yu launches in the full-armed loadout. The RX-80 Exam 3 FA Blue Destiny Unit 3, full-armed, uses the same upgraded armaments that we saw on Unit 1's fully armed variant as well. Thrusters are added on the back and the legs to compensate for extra weight. This doesn't lose speed due to the extra weight, and is considered the perfect form for Blue. Weapons include the Gym Dominance twin beam cannons, a beam rifle, a hyper bazooka, head Vulcans, 60mm chest Vulcans, wired control missiles, and a shoulder beam cannon. Yu acts as a diversion. They take the bait and approach Blue. Yu goes full Kiriyamato and unleashes hell. Alf and Philip head out. Alf is in the F-type ball. He says these things handle themselves very well, unlike the original. Well, at least they admit the original flying ball is a coffin. They move in while Blue is distracting Xeon. Marion senses someone coming. It is Tristan. He is fighting recklessly, but the ghost of Surge tells Tristan to fight like a knight. Philip whispers to Alf, "We're in." Alf says, "Why are you whispering in the void of space over the comms?" They spot Jill and Nimbus on the move and move in. They anticipated their arrival and are on the move to Klust's residence. The locket that Philip has is most likely a tracking device used by Jill. He is afraid of what he will say to her when they confront one another. One Zaku gets a hit on Yu. Yu purges full armor mode and does a Char kick on Tristan. His men help him pull back before rushing in, and they all die at the hands of Blue, leaving just Tristan to drift out in space alone. He lives. Alf comes on the comms and tells Yuu to head to the colony. He says there is something he has to tell him, but his comms are cut off by Nimbus. He says, "No, I am the one who has something to tell you." And it involves Marion. A few moments earlier, they find Nimbus. But Jill pops out of hiding in the Gyan. She demands that they bring Yuu Kajima to them. This is why Alf told him to come to the colony. As Yuu approaches Nimbus, Marion disappears. Nimbus and Yuu introduce each other face to face. He said that he never thought that Yuu would be a part of the diversion and assumed he would head straight for the colony. Yuu wants to know how to free Marion. Nimbus says he will give all of Clust's data to him. He says because Yuu has the same eyes as Marion. Philip and Jill have an awkward conversation. There ultimately is no real resolution between these two. Alf and Yuu looks at Clust's data on how new types Psychomus render old types obsolete. This is nothing more than the ravings of a madman. Marion gave everything for the exam system. But in the end, Dr. Clust was essentially Amado Ray's dad and started losing it over time. His scientific observations over time became demonic ramblings of new type theory. He explains that after Nimbus and Marion's battle, she was suddenly gone. But she has a body. Does it mean she went into a coma, or did she actually disappear? I'm gonna assume coma, but they write it like she vanished. He says he has been fighting to claim glory of being Exam's chosen one. Yuu says he lost sight of what Marion truly is now. After Marion disappeared, the Exam version of her appeared in front of Nimbus, and he rejected her. He says in 6 hours, they will battle. Yuu agrees. Yuu could kill him right now. Nimbus wants Yuu to wait 6 hours so he can wait for Unit 2's parts to be added to Blue. Yuu waited the entire 6 hours because that is what Marion wanted. After 6 hours, Blue Destiny Unit 2 launches and the modified Unit 2. The RX-80 Exam 2 Blue Destiny Unit 2 modified is blue using modified Xeon parts. The main camera is replaced with a mono-eye sensor. Also, the new skirt adds additional melee weapons. Armaments include head Vulcans, 60mm chest Vulcans, wired control missiles, the Ifrit Customs Heat Sword, and the triple missile launchers. And that will conclude Mobile Suit Gundam's side story, Blue Destiny. Wait a minute, that's it? Apparently this is still on hiatus, but I think this is the end, and I gotta say, it's pretty unsatisfying. There has to be one more volume, I feel, but who knows if and when this will happen. We don't see the destruction of the exam system, so Marion's fate still seems unknown. Though the ending suggests that Marion will live inside Yuu. But what about her real body? Based off of Gundam Pulitzer, we can assume she finally passed away with the destruction of the exam system. But who knows? I know that the original Blue Destiny manga also doesn't fully cover the Blue Destiny video games as well. Son of a bitch, am I gonna have to play the games to get the full story? Damn it. Now that we have covered Yuu's story, which should we cover next? Should we do the Slave Wraith story, or should we follow Form Romfellow in the 16th? Let me know in the comments. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember to check if the writer bailed on the series before diving into the manga. Lesson learned. Peace.